Yo guys, what's up? I'm Dunmere. I'm a rank 1 peak Supervive player, and I have almost 1,000 hours played in the game so far. So I'm going to give you guys an Elluna guide here, talking about her best builds for her items, power sets, and what order you should level her up in. Jumping right into it, starting with the items, Elluna is actually one of the more flexible characters in the game, which is pretty cool. However, it's important to know that her tankier builds, she loses her healing output, because her healing output scales off of damage. So that's, something for you to know. But it doesn't mean she's not viable with those, like a character like Zeph. That isn't good with tanky builds. So, starting off with it, I do think the absolute best build on her is this meta build I talked about in the top left here, Bubble Blade Turbo Booster. The Bubble Blade's giving her the mana she needs while also giving her 25% bonus healing. And the Turbo Booster is giving her an additional movement speed dash whenever she is dashing, right? It gives her 50 movement speed that decays over 2 seconds. So pretty useful little extra dash here, or a little movement speed. That's a damage oriented build, but it's kind of a little bit like based on what sort of playstyle you want. If you want to be playing more towards looking for some frags, while still being able to support occasionally, then go for this kind of damage oriented build. But you can also lean towards something that's more tanky, like these other two on the right here that are going to let you have a higher chance of securing reses, right? Because the HP shield that you'll get will stack underneath this like Guardian's Respite, for example, that goes off of max HP, and so you'll be able to res more, right? More reliably, essentially. So that's one option. And then you have a mixed build here with Scholar and Turbo Booster. I think that's probably the worst out of these three builds, probably just because it doesn't have as much of an identity as the other ones do. But it is pretty good, right? There's lots of variety of things that you can do. So, like I said, Bubble Blade and Turbo Booster just really synergize very, very well with Elluna. Guardian's Respite, solid. Scholar is the best mana helm in the game. And so if you do end up needing a mana helm, which the character is pretty mana intensive, so you basically do, if you want to run a tanky build, you kind of have to go that, right? And if you want to go a tanky build, you should be running Guardian's Respite too, or there's kind of no point in doing it, just from getting that extra HP while also getting movement or getting cooldown reduction. There are some other little interesting things that you can do, like mess around with something like Last Stand that gives you an additional, give you some like anti or some it'll give you like a burst of extra healing when you're low HP. That's kind of a unique one. It's probably not really that good, but if you really like running vamp items, and it's not horrendous on this character comparatively to some other ones. Amplifier also might be pretty okay if you want to just stand in the back line and like spam out your stuns at people instead of having it like traded for the Turbo Booster or the for the like the Turbo Booster and the Bubble Blade combo or the Scholar combo. That's probably what I would recommend the most for trading out a damage item onto one of those ones. Anything below that niche tier is pretty trash. Mind Blade might be very good on Elluna instead of the Bubble Blade if you're like really running out of mana somehow, but I don't think she's that mana intensive, so Bubble Blade should be the way to go with that. Yeah, so you might also be able to sub out the Turbo Booster for Grace. Grace is unique in that it gives you a 50 extra movement speed when you're full HP, and so when you pick up a Wisp, you get a shield on top of you, and assuming it works the same, that like shield doesn't, you won't lose that movement speed until that shield is fully broken, because you haven't technically have your HP damaged yet. So go ahead and give that a try, and that could be potentially a better option than Turbo Booster. But Turbo Booster will work in more consistent situations just because it doesn't care about your HP, right? And having Grace work like that properly you'd have to be at full HP originally when you pick somebody up for that to work properly. So jumping into Elluna's level up order, you're going to really want to be trying to prioritize her heal. I think that's a pretty big deal in this version of Elluna. And so like as much as, you know, you have some other options for what to put to level 3 and all that, you're definitely going to get the most value out of looking to do the heal onto level 3 instead of these other ones, because the other ones just don't have enough. They're just not that great. Whereas the Moonlight Blessing, the healing power getting knocked up to level 3, will reduce the cooldown of it by 3 seconds and double the heal after throwing it. So you cast it again, and then it doubles the heal. Very powerful. That's what's going to give Elluna like viability to her healing. So starting off, we're always going to go with our dash. Some people would argue to go for the RMB to like clear camps with it and then get your dash, because it does clear it faster. But the thing is, if enemies happen to be there, or you didn't see them, or you accidentally hit this one out of muscle memory instead of going dash when there are enemies, you're going to be fighting without your dash, which is basically like super troll. Right? You won't be able to escape if you need to. So go dash. Go dash, then heal, and then we go with the stun, the root. If you're playing Bunny, you're playing her for her healing capability mainly. So you should go healing before the root, just to help your teammates and all that. And then you should hit the healing again. One more time. It gives a pretty solid amount of extra healing, 13% of your AP, and just adds extra healing value in general. So I would recommend doing that, as like hitting that up to level 2 at level 4. From there at level 5, you're definitely going to want to pop the ultimate. Having ultimate's valuable, that's great. Though it's not going to be that valuable to level it up until level 2 of the ultimate, because it only gives a 25-second cooldown reduction on a very long cooldown already. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change when, like, how often you're going to have it in terms of when you need it. You're either going to like continuously not have it when you need it when you get third partied, or the fight will take a long time to find, so you're probably going to have it anyway. Or you could have waited to start a new fight, type of thing. So for level 6, we are going to not do the heal yet. This might be something you want to play around with and see if you want to get the heal at level 6 instead. But we're going to pop our second charge into dash here. It's pretty valuable just because it gives you an extra 1.5 second cooldown on the base dash, but then a pretty long cooldown on the like air dash. And at this point, Elluna, like the game's getting pretty lethal, and having that extra like dash cooldown reduction to sneak in and grab allies and get out is going to be pretty powerful, especially if you're running that turbo dash build. At level 7, you're hitting your Moonlight Blessing, your heal to level 3. That's going to give you a -3 second cooldown, and then double the healing after you throw it. That's huge for Elluna. Super valuable. And then from there, since the ultimate's so useless leveled up, we're going to hit our Dark Side Binding to level 2 to get 0.3 second additional root duration. And then, of course, finalize with our only option available, which is level 9, getting your ultimate to level 2. Alright, so going into the powers for Elluna, we have this little tier list I've set up. If you see my other videos, you know how it works, but basically this is to cover the randomness of the BR of not being able to guarantee you get what you want. Where you have these, you know, if you run into these powers in the bottom tiers, you pick them up because they're good, they're viable, but if, you know, you get these better ones up down the line, you replace them, right, with the ones that are better. And you cycle through them, making sure you have like a variety of the different things that she can do, or the variety of reasons why you'd want different powers. And those reasons are basically to just expand on the strengths that she has, or really bolster them. You don't want to try and like add new things, right? Like you don't want to try and like give her a grappling hook to try and turn her into some crazy fragger. It's just not really her thing. Maybe for escapability, but for fragging, yeah. So the first set of things is going to be ally sustain, and then there's going to be self-sustain, and then there's going to be there's some other little set of weird nuanced things. So in terms of the ally sustain things, this one actually doubles up here because we have these touch powers. Elluna's dash, when you dash through an ally, it halves the cooldown and it gives you a 1 second cooldown reduction on her heal. So that works in addition with these like touch mana powers and touch heal and touch speed to give you an extra little benefit for both of you, because you both get the extra benefit. So that's cool. Those are pretty good. Delicate Battery can just guarantee you have like a bunch of mana when you need it, so that's pretty cool. But for actual like ally sustain. On top of that, you're looking for either of these guardian angels, like the little phoenix looking guys up at the top of there. Those are going to dramatically increase the speed of your res, which is just super valuable. You don't need it for proccing the guardian angel res where you don't have to be on top of them. That actually, you can kind of barely use that part, but it speeds up the res a lot, so it's really valuable. For self-sustain, you're looking at doing things like having a capture ball where you toss like some big brute next to you so you can like play off of them. We're using the laser here, the one in the middle of the yellow section, yellow dash, or the chonker cannon directly above it to lock down areas of the map around you where you can kite to, and have allies like, and you can have enemies like not be able to push into that well, and so you can like pick up a wisp and run back into it. The rescue grenade is also really useful for setting it up for allies actually. This is in the wrong category, but setting it up for allies, the wrong category in terms of, you know, what I'm talking about, where you set it up in front of you so allies can jump back to you if they need it because you're playing from the back lines, right? Or you also have something like this purple one with the guy in it on the left of strong, that can also lock down a side of the map with anti-mobi field to stop people from chasing you like as you're running away, or stop them from chasing you through a pre-set up like choke point, right? Or chase through you easily because they're gonna get stunned. So there's lots of little things you can do like that, right? Or if you want to get crazy, you can pop like a stealth cloak onto Bunny, Elluna, just so she can like sneak around and set up like stuns on people with her root. That's like kind of an option. We're giving her an abyss specialist, the cloud, so that she can just permanently jump into the abyss and then dash and get huge cooldown reduction and all that kind of nonsense. But you also have some niche things here like delicate barrier. Like I said, if you're full HP when you pick someone up, I believe, I'm almost certain about this, when you pick some wisp up, it gives you the extra shield, and that shield should take half damage because of the way that delicate barrier is working. Because you take half damage until you start taking damage on your regular health. So that should be a very like useful thing for Elluna to have, right? In addition to that, you have something like Kaiju Heart, which is just a best in slot power on Elluna. I guess it's called Kaiju Scale now, actually, or Abyssal Scale. But this power that knocks back enemies that are nearby you and attacks and shots and projectiles is really valuable on Elluna. You can use it and Air Blast, the wind looking thing there below it, to knock people off of wisps you want to pick up. Like you waddle up, you blast them off, you grab them, and then you yeet away. And there's like a bunch of value you can do in terms of that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions or have anything to say, go ahead and throw them into the comments below, or come follow me on my Twitch and my YouTube when I'm streaming, and go ask them there.